a watch?
Yeah.
No. Have you said hello to everyone yet?
Hi, good morning.
Well done. Morning, y'all. I'm seeing how decaf goes in my life at the minute. Wow, that was a fun debate about Tiger yesterday. Thanks for all your responses. Those are really good ones, actually. That video seems to have kind of encouraged more sensible chat about what the Tiger effect, for want of a better word, actually is done or not done, rather than people just going, oh, Tiger is golf, Tiger is golf. Tiger's golf! Well, I announced yesterday that I am now golf, so that's a fact. Everyone now knows.
Yeah, you are golf.
I am it.
What are you?
I've announced that I'm golf now.
Are you?
I've come out at last, everybody.
Yeah. You're not as handsome as Thor either.
No.
You're not meant to say that.
She's right though. But if I could be any superhero, I think I would be Tony Stark still. That would be my choice. What would your choice be? What superhero would you be? Post comments down below. I think I would be Tony Stark. Right, today we've got a swing coming at you. He's a 2 or 3 handicap, struggles from a few hooks, I think, so this should be a fun one for people to get some ideas from. Now tomorrow I'm going to London, so it's going to be hard to film a daily vlog. Bear with. So I want you to post comments down below on what I could talk about tomorrow, tomorrow's daily vlog, because it'll only be talking about, because I'll be just running around London. I've got 2 meetings and some other things to do. So what do you want me to talk about tomorrow, golf related, down below, or any questions? Good, like a series of fun questions that I could spend the day answering, those kind of things. Let's hear it. Right, today's swing. We're gonna do, this player plays off a low handicap. He's like off 2 or 3, I think they've told me. So he's obviously a very good player. So we're gonna take him back here to first parallel, and what we see is this contradiction between grip and face. So he's got what we'd call strong grips, the grip almost too far around to the right, turning the face down, and then the club head wants to get a long way behind the hands from this camera angle, which we'll talk about what that might cause or what it could encourage. He's kind of set the theme now, which I don't think he's going to recover from. So the theme of having a face dangerously close to a path sometimes, so he's now going to try and move the path way right, so the face is right of the target line, so the ball starts right and then curves back. But if that face points at target when he hits this ball, with his path trying to move so far right, he's going to start the ball straight and hook it left, which is the shot he complains of, that kind of snap hook. Now we see no real clearance in his lower half, top half, as he's trying everything he can to shove that club path out to the right to get control of his shots. These are very easy fixes for these kind of players of good standards, as in to diagnose, but they're sometimes harder because good players who obviously have speed like he does don't like to go backwards to go forwards. They don't like to feel different. They get to a standard, often a good standard or really good standard like this player, and they don't like the idea of having to kind of invest in a lesser feeling technique to then try and go forwards again. That's often the biggest hurdle with these kind of golfers. Let's show you what I mean. School run. Let's take him to school. DJ Hall is in the house too. So first ideas around hold. So how do we kind of get a grip of your grip? So your grip looks strong, so I can't tell if it's top hand or bottom hand, but basically too far over as I look down to the right. Now there's 2 questions. The first one I would pose to you is, can you change that? I know you can, but I'd need to work with you to see if it's something that you think you could actually do and hit shots. I kind of feel like that would be my first port of call. So I'd be getting whichever hand is more strong to kind of weaken off a little bit, and then I'll be getting you to hit shots and see what kind of patterns we create. Listen to what kind of noises you make. So what I mean by that, when you change grips, certainly with people with speed, often there's a lot of groaning, there's a lot of kind of mumbling. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, that don't feel right. Oh, I can't hit it like that. All those kind of noises. But if we were to go that grip way, so to move that grip, we're going to have to add a considerable more amount of turn into your downswing, and then a different ideas of how to use the club face. So let's pretend we've got that more neutral grip going. I'm going to try and get you now hitting the ball by certainly opening up hips and shoulders dramatically more on the way down. get rid of this kind of chasing to try and push that path miles right all the time. Then in turn, I'm going to ask you to feel that A, you're starting the ball up the left, those kind of ideas. B, that you get this feeling like it's catching up with this end as well. So you're fighting this twist with this. See what I'm doing there? So I'm what you would call closing the face probably, and then I'm pushing the handle forwards to try and get it back to somewhere where I want the ball to start. That's done by this movement for you. What I'm saying is I'm going to put a grip in that it's going to make the face stay more neutral, but if you still do this with the handle, so let's say we've got a grip that's now delivering the face like this, but you still want to do this, slide hips, push handle forwards, you're going to hit block cuts, you're just going to hit every shot, you're going to hate it, which is why we need to get that downswing changing. So simply get club on your shoulders with the grip end touch kind of level with your left chest, and then get that feeling. I've got a thing on the end of the club here that you're opening your body to get that face pointing somewhere down your start direction that you want that ball to begin, rather than this move. But you can only do that if you change the hold, if you decide to move that grip. The other thing, if that turning isn't doing everything you need it to do, what I'd also like you to do is try and feel like you're getting the head to almost overtake the handle at the bottom. Just get the feeling of the club. So the face being controlled with a handle back, handle forwards ideas to show you how you can control the face. Comparing leans of shaft to non-leans of shaft to rotation to no rotation. Often when you get golfers, good golfers of low handicaps like you've got, they're always, not always, but often thinking of club face rotation purely around this axis of the shaft, and that really limits their learning. So I'm going to go, let's start neutral grip, changing the way you turn on the way down, so opening up your body rather than the slide and the handle lean, and then in turn, if you need to, feeling like the head's overtaking the handle to get a feel of some different start directions. We will do today though also how to continue maybe trying to get rid of the hook if you keep the grip where it is. There's plenty of good tour players with the grip that you use. I've escaped into town, a little bit of Christmas shopping methinks. Right, I wouldn't say that was the most successful shopping trip for Christmas presents ever, but I did get that, so lunch is sorted. So, happy Christmas, me!
Let's answer your questions.
Right, because Facebook seem to be, I don't know, doing what with their messages. I hate Facebook. Like, just what are you doing? So I don't have my follow-up messages. So I'm going to go into my... I posted earlier asking for questions for Golf Online. I do some Q&As with them, and there's loads, and I can't get them all done. So I'm going to go through here and pick one, and we'll answer that today. Marius is asking me if I've ever used home simulators like OptiShot and things like that. I have used a few, and obviously I've got an expensive home simulating GC quad. Now where I do see the benefit of them, and I think if you're just hitting shots in a period during the winter where you can't get out and play, that's only a positive thing, so there's your positive. The thing I see with them and get worried sometimes, even when people use the expensive ones like indoor places and clubs, is I see some strange interpretation of numbers. So being careful how you interpret the data is one thing I would worry about. So there's one thing understanding the data on a data sheet, it's then trying to get yourself or a student to change those numbers is a massive skill that needs learning. And this is something I don't think the golf industry respects enough. So basically, I remember getting 3D data on body, and getting obviously the three-dimensional data of the club when I first got into these launch monitors and kind of tracking systems years and years ago, and it gave me some data and I think I wouldn't have a clue. How do you change someone's lie? So give me the lie number of the club. I think, well, I've never taught lie, I've only ever taught like on plane rubbish. I didn't even know that was something we had to look at, because obviously the PGA and coaches I looked up to at the time didn't use that information either. So it shows you kind of how coaching has changed over the years. And there's lies your question, or the danger with some of the home ones is A, if you understand the data and can use it and don't just start buggering yourself up, because I see people go crazy on data as well, is how accurate are they, and then in turn how you then interpret that data. So if it's just that you're hitting shots indoors more and it gives you some kind of flight and makes it more fun, so makes you hit more, that's really good. But if you're hitting 7 irons 180 yards and then you get on the course you're actually hitting 145, and I have seen this with some home use ones, then I also see that as a pretty bad thing in lots of ways. So there's pros and cons. Hitting shots each day, if it's indoor and the sim makes you do that, great. Be careful with the data. Unfortunately, you do have to spend money to get accurate machines. If you didn't, then I wouldn't spend the money on the expensive quads and things, the tracking systems I've had through the years. But let me know, post comments as well, add it to the comment list. Are they good or not? Have you got one? Let me know. Right, next idea is around this takeaway if you don't want to change your grip. So the issue with your twisted face is when you get that head getting behind your hand so early. For me, this is going to be very hard to recover, certainly with your body movement as well, in a way where you get the path and the face aligning in a better way to hit maybe a cut shot or a gentle draw or a straight shot. The many different variations of shots you're going to need to hit as a low handicapper. That relationship between your head and your handle with that twist, for me, makes it very clear that you're going to want to swing out to the right, which then you're going to get the face close to that because of that twist. And the more that separates, there comes your duck hook or your snap hook. So if you're going to keep that twist in, think DJ. So think Dustin Johnson with his kind of twist in his face. I would like to see you make some takeaways and some backswings and some feelings where you try and feel like you keep the head outside the hands for much longer, because we need you hitting the ball. If you're going to put this twist in, basically with this kind of action where the handle's forwards and going much further left as you hit the ball and feelings of holding off, I think I would much more prefer you to do the other way, play with the grip, play with the turn of your body. That's where I would start first. But if the noises and the grunts that you created were far too big and outweighed what we could see the improvements you could make, because bear in mind you're already a very skilled golfer as you are, then we would manage that twist much more this way, so head staying outside of hands rather than letting it get behind you. So simple ideas for this is literally just put the club in your tummy button, feel some takeaways where you can feel that connection rather than this kind of flicking back of the wrist. Club up on your left side's the same idea, feeling that connection. Also what I like to do with good players, that one, so right hand down the left side of the grip. You just feel like you're pulling the grip and the head away almost simultaneously, so it'll feel very much almost like this is your takeaway opposed to you going this way with the turn. So changing the order of that takeaway with a feeling on the downswing of still body rotation and holding that handle off almost rather than letting anything catch up would be a second way of going. Not the way I would want to go, but I would be big enough and bold enough and brave enough to see if you were hitting shots that way which were really kind of repeatable, impressive, we would stick there. It's not about making you look perfect, it's about making you functional. Just him, the other one's away at a play date. It's me and you, bro, we better get back and start flying and shooting Star Wars daily.
Yeah.
That telly's not too big for this room. That telly is perfect for gaming in this room. So today's lesson's an interesting one. I don't think the drills are anything new that I haven't done before, and even the ideas. I think it's more about trying to get more people to understand that it's about getting the best skills out of an individual. So if this player is more skilled by using the technique that causes the odd hooks, we carry on and use that technique but give him some ideas to try and maybe calm it down a fraction. But if this player feels like they could become more skilled, or I feel they could become more skilled by watching them hit with the more neutral grip, then having the different impact position, different rotations with that new grip and feelings of club face control, then we'll go that route. But you're not going to know until you test, and I think that's the key when it comes to lessons and making sure that the student gets the most out of the paid for session if they're going to book a lesson, is that the coach and the student are working together to enhance abilities rather than just trying to, I mean, I've had some lessons that I say, look, there's not much we can do here, like this, you're getting close to your max, or you're doing a lot of good things, keep doing what you're doing. A lesson doesn't always have to be some magical fix, which is, I think, something that everyone, amateurs and pros, could take away from, in my opinion. There you go, thanks for watching. Hopefully that makes sense. Post comments down below. What we're going to do is we need to pick a winner, don't we, for the swag that we announced at the start of the week. So I'm going to have to pick a subscriber, bear with. So we're going to pick a subscriber to win the prize. So I'm just going to load a big old list, as many as I can here, and we're going to go down and we're just going to pick one at random. Right, we got a massive list here. Going to scroll through and I'm just going to stop and put my finger on one and pick one. So we've got one there, Stephen Miller. I'm messaging you now. Right, message, send. There we go, Stephen Miller. You have won the swag. Hopefully he responds to that message, sends me his address, and I will send this across. Thanks all for watching. Remember, hit the comments down below. Let me know what we can do on tomorrow's daily vlog. Give me a subject to talk about, or ask me a series of questions, or whatever you think's best, so I can just, obviously I won't be able to demonstrate. It'll be more just explaining as I was traipse around London. Also Friday, watch out for Friday's daily vlog. It's going to be crazy. There is a massive prize for Friday's daily vlog. Like, it's a huge one. We'll talk about that on Friday though. Have a good evening.